Good day, gentlemen. Oh, yeah, it's hard to see my face. But anyway, this is your humble vassal, Professor J. Mack, from the Empress Club. The second series, The Kingmaker, the last and final chapter, chapter 12, Money Matters. Excuse me. Money is very important and it has to be dealt with because money is like fire. You either it's master or it's slave. So you have to know how to deal with money. Of course, this will go in greater depth in the book, but for now we'll just touch on some of the most important parts of money. Now, the Wu-Tang Clan had a song called Cream, Cash Rules Everything Around Me. And I thought that, I loved how that, I'm no fan of rap music, but I love that. But it's similar to what was quoted in the Bible that says, money answers all things. And that's the truth to some extent. Now, there are things money can't buy, but for everything else, money answers all things. Almost everything can be dealt with a check, either before or after the fact. The chances are, since prevention is the cure, having the money before the fact is a whole lot better, but it's still good to have it after the fact. And money has to be dealt with because it's a matter of life and death. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you had to choose between what you want and what you need because of the amount of money you have. Like take for example, for me. When I go shopping, I always buy what I need, even though it was more expensive. I don't buy canned food, even though it's cheap. It's expensive in the long run because it affects your health. So my trolley is never full because I go after quality and not quantity. But the point is, if I go in the store with $100, I can't leave it $200 worth of stuff. Now, if I have $200 in my pocket, I have more options than the person with $100. I can buy better quality stuff and more of it. Now, I didn't realize I have to buy stuff for my fruit smoothies because I don't drink juices. I make my own. It's more expensive, but it's cheaper. And the fact that in the long run, since I'm making juices that I make, I know what goes in it. There's no starch, no corn syrup, no sugars, preservatives, additives, nothing. And how I brought the cost down for my fruit smoothies, I began growing the stuff that I need, which is another aspect of money matters. And this is why husbandry is so important. That's why it was discussed in the last book, in the Kingmaker series. So there are ways you can save money without losing quality. I take for instance, my sister sews her clothes. And she has custom-made clothes that looks rich and expensive, but it isn't. So she gets a double boost. She looks good. Triple. She looks good. She saves money. And she feels good about herself because she made it herself. Now, for money matters, being a matter of life in there, like I said before, it affects your health, which you know is everything, because health is wealth. You need money for your health. Like the Hippocratic Oath said, that your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. So if that's the case, you're going to have to buy good quality food, and it costs. Either to produce it. It's like when I started my little garden, it took a lot. It didn't take really a lot of money because I've been doing it for a while, but to expand it, and in any event, it still costs money. However, I have my own fruits. I grow my own vegetables, which I'm regrowing because the hurricane destroyed the last batch. It's taken a while for them to catch. But the point is, I don't have to buy, well, not anymore, but before, I didn't have to buy peppers because I grew it myself. I didn't have to buy turmeric, I grew it myself. I didn't have to buy ginger, I grew it myself. I didn't have to buy garlic, I grew it myself. The three of those right there, and celery, I grew celery myself, and I started to grow beets. Those fruits and vegetables and roots right there are the foundation of keeping a good, healthy body. And I was growing lemon trees and pomegranate trees, but the hurricane destroyed those, and I'm trying to regrow them again. So I'm finding a way to stretch my dollar, get value for my money, all while being industrious. Just because money matters, and I have to make the most out of my money, and taking care of my health by spending my money wisely and growing what I can grow for myself rather than buying it. I save tons of money, which, you know, a penny saved is a penny earned. So I'm making money by feeding myself, by growing stuff for myself. And the extra money is used to reinvest elsewhere. Another thing, why you need money and why money matters is important, is education. This is why I despise William Shakespeare as a young man. As I grew up, I understood. But ignorance is not bliss. There's nothing funny about being ignorant. Like I said in the chapter on education, your education is your life. And you must guard it as such. You must treat it as such. Like I told you, my nephew added up my magazines. I think it's about between $10,000 to $20,000 in magazines alone. And I spent triple that on books. No, I didn't say that stop to brag. I want you to stop. I stopped to pause so that you can, pause for effect, so that you can pay attention to what I've just said. I spent a lot of money on books. Now, I'm reading a book. This is going to be in my series Chit Chat, where I gloss over books that meant a lot to me. I'm reading a book by Marcus Aurelius. I just bought out my last batch of books. Now, I have another $200 worth of books I'm going to buy from Amazon right now. Now, the beauty of it is, all my nieces and nephews have resource material. My library is more expensive than their school's library. Why? Because money matters. I value education, and what you value, your money goes to. And that's another thing with money matters. What you value is reflected in how you spend your money. Now, clothes, when I say clothes, I mean everything. I learned this from my mother and grandmother. My grandmother always says, cheap is there. Get good quality stuff. And Kevin Samuels talks about it too. When you look at clothing that includes everything, you don't look at the price. You look at how many wears can I get out of this. And you divide that by the cost. And better quality clothes cost more, but you get more wear out of it. I bought a shirt back in 1989 for $60. I can't fit it anymore. However, I still have it. I still have that shirt. I love that shirt. It's a white shirt with red metallic stripes going down it. $60 for that back in 89. Still have it. I have shoes. I got them on sale for $100. They were like $600. Those shoes can't die to save my life. Now, there's 3 shoes now that I got from Clark's I'm going to get resold. Because my first pair of Clark's, I got them for $120. They last me 5 years. So just divide 5 years, $120 by 5 years. As opposed to buying cheap shoes that give out every year or every 6 months. Which leads me to my next topic. Lifestyle. Excuse me. Money matters because it determines your lifestyle and quality of life. If you have to be slaving away or working 2 jobs, you burning the candle on both ends, You're not utilizing your time wisely. You're affecting your health, and time is going by fast. But see, this is why you must take your education seriously. And I'm not talking about getting a degree to get a job. I'm talking about learning skills. Because your investment in your education sooner or later affects your lifestyle and the quality of your life. Now, if you could only afford a home for $60,000, that's in a crime-ridden area, that affects your quality of life. Now, if you have enough money to buy a home that costs 3 times the price in a better area that's not crowded, with a different socioeconomic background, that affects your quality of life. Your whole lifestyle changes. You buy dogs for pets as opposed for a deterrent. That's how I look at it. Like, I love dogs. I love them more than cats. I hate cats. Excuse me. I only have cats because rats are a reality. So I keep cats around for that purpose, but not for any love. But also look at this. If, let's say you are forced to live in an area where there's crime, the amount of money determines what kind of dog you have, and then the quality of food you give the dog and the care you give the dog. So it's back to the beginning. Cream, cash rules everything around me. So you've got to learn how to handle money. And in addition to this, since you're the Empress Club, I take it you're responsible. So you're not going to be helping children willy-nilly. Money matters determines how many children you have and the time between them. Because it takes a lot of money to take care of a child. I think Eric Jerome Dickey, in one of his books in the Gideon series, one of the characters has said that the cost of having children is a contraceptive. And I agree. And he was saying it takes about $200,000 in the least to get a child from infancy to adulthood. In the least, just imagine that, $200,000. I was going to say something, but I forgot this is geared towards 10-year-olds and 18-year-olds. I have to have a different form when I speak about the same thing, but for grown men who have sense or who over 18 and trying to find their way. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. This for the youngins. Now, when you have children, you want your children to get the best education, be in the best environment. That costs money. The educational psychologist Petzolozzi said something in school. I never forgot that in college. He said a child's education is not complete unless they have traveled. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to put off children because now having them expensive, now you got to take them traveling and understand the wisdom of it because I read a lot. Because I read a lot, I learned about different people's cultures. And when I live in New York City, I made it a point to go to every different part of the world that has a representation in New York City, like the Little League, Chinatown, Brazil, Korea, places like that. I visited all of them. Since I didn't have the money to go physically, I went, get a sample of what it's like to be in a country based in New York. And I thought about Petzolozzi every week. Because you get to see the world differently, and that's what you want your child to have. You do not want your child to have a one-track mind. That was going to be discussed in Chit Chat, but when I do a series on The Art of Worldly Living by Balthasar Gracian. He's a French monk. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but that's going to be in Chit Chat. Now, the first thing you got to learn in Money Matters is to respect money. Respect money. And by that I mean, know that money is either a slave or a master. Excuse me. And some people, hold on a second, please. See, I'm about sense. This is how I know I'm about sense. I'm about to talk sense to help y'all man get their life on track, and someone pass by doing foolishness. Anyway, excuse me. Money has to be respected for two reasons. One, you either a slave or its master. And two, like Mike Murdoch said, what you respect, you attract. Now, he was talking about relationships, which does make sense. What you respect, you attract. If someone enters your life and you're being disrespectful to them, why should they stick around? So if it applies to relationships, why wouldn't it apply to money? And the whole principle, the universal law of so above, so below, as within, so without, that applies. Which you respect, you attract. Respect money. Treat money like it's fire. There's a good slave but a horrible master. You understand the saying, the Bible verse that says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Not respecting money is going to pull you down into a rabbit hole of degeneracy. And that's not what the Empress Club is about. You're not a kingmaker if you're a slave to money. Money is important. But remember, you are the master. And this is why you respect money. You respect it to attract it. Like the Bible says, he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. So, if you can respect money when dealing with little, you won't be able to handle it with much. This is something I learned, I think, in junior high school from a gentleman who wasn't rich, but he lived like he was rich. Someone was interviewing him, and he was saying that the difference between being wealthy and rich is being rich means you have money. Wealthy is having your money make money for you. And by that, you have to invest your money. You don't have to have much to invest. Like, take for example, imagine if you bought Google stock when it first came out. I think it was worth $85. That was worth over $600. Let's just imagine you bought 10 of them. Your money made money. You may not have millions of dollars, but your money made money. This is how you look at making money. Your money has to be making money because there's 24 hours in the day and you must sleep 8. You may not have to sleep 8, but get your proper rest. Make sure you get your proper rest so you block out 8, and you could take maybe two 30-minute naps a day and get 6-7 hours of sleep. Whatever the case is that works for you. Remember, gentlemen, the aim is to have your money make money for you. All right, let's see what's going on. Now, we're dealing with the management of money, because money matters. I like that because it goes both. It's a double entendre. Money matters and money matters. Money matters because money matters. This is something I learned. There's nothing that came out of college or experts. This is something I experienced on how to manage money or how to become a master of money. Thanks to my grandmother, she made me a pious fool. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but someone had said that to me. You're a pious fool. You're overly religious, and that was my grandmother's influence. It took me a while to see that and see the flaw in it, and I've corrected it. But I learned one thing: paying my tithes. That's right, 10% whatever I make, I put aside and give to the church. I'm not telling you to do that. Sometimes I give to church, sometimes I give to people who need it. But the point is, I put my tithes aside, no matter how much I make. I put a tithe aside. Now, by paying my tithes, doing this as a young man from 12, 13 years old, as I grew, I realized something about myself. The curse word, S-A-L-E, never moved me. And I was wondering about it. How come that word doesn't move me? But later on in life, I learned through Mike Murdoch that by paying your tithes, you impose discipline on yourself, because you've worked for 100%, but you must now live on 90%. And so he said that within itself kills impulse buying, because you know from the get-go you have but so much. So it makes you much more aware of how you spend your money. It makes you spend your money wisely. It kills impulse control, impulse buying. It improves your discipline, your self-discipline, and self-control. So your money doesn't come into your hands and wash right out, because you know off the top you pay your tithes. Now he break it down into all the spiritual aspects of it. I'm not really here on religion per se, but if you want to listen to what he says, he can do it better than I can. There's a science behind paying your tithes. And it imposes discipline on you that literally transfers to the rest of your life. Like the principle on lean on me, he told the young man to fix himself up neatly, because self-respect permeates every aspect of your life. And so does self-control and self-discipline. By paying my tithes and knowing that I work for 100%, but I'm only living on 90%, it imposed discipline on myself, and it transferred to every aspect of my life. Also, paying my tithes made me aware of tracking my money. I was 12, 13 years old, I knew exactly what I spent my money on down to the dollar. Every time I spend my money, I'm aware of how much money I have. Because I have but so much, every penny I have is allotted. They're given an assignment. And at the end of the day, I track where my money went down to the dollar. Now, what is funny, I met a young lady in college who laughed at me because of that. So I said, what's so funny? She said that her mother tracks her money down to the penny, and she has a ledger book that she kept from 1967 with everything she spent her money on. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I was bad. That is unbelievable. I thought I have to meet a mother. And he had a good laugh. So to know that she isn't the only one, I'm not the only one. She's more extreme than I am. But I understand where she was coming from. She tracks her money. She is a good steward. She's not frivolous with her money. And that's another way you can track money. Why you must respect it, by not being frivolous. You just think about it. Excuse me. Think of someone you know you like to do something nice for, but because if they're frivolous, you're not going to be inclined to give them anything expensive. Not with your hard-earned money. Even if it wasn't your hard-earned money, giving it to them, it's going to be a waste. And gentlemen, this is something you have to learn now. So now you don't miss out on opportunities to be blessed from the universe. Excuse me. Now, it's another thing for Money Matters. I've been doing this from 7th grade, from when I was 11 years old. I read a story in a magazine about this man. He saved $1 a day. And he's talking about budgeting and all of that. So he says, most people don't budget or don't stick with the budget long because they don't realize it's not about money. It's about the habit of putting something aside, which is easy for me to do because I was paying my tithes. So what I would do is put $1 aside every day, just like he said. So $1 a day. You would be amazed how that adds up. But in addition to that, it becomes a habit. Saving money becomes a habit. It becomes a way of life. I can tell you something. Back in the 80s, everyone, I used to pack groceries on the weekends to make money because my taste got expensive, too expensive for the household budget. So I had to go get my own money. That's because I had come across a magazine that had iridescent fabric. So I couldn't wear the clothes that I normally wore before. I had to get iridescent fabric. Anyway, I noticed people throwing away pennies. So you know what I did? I collect them. Why? Because 100 of them equals $1. That's another reason why I respect money. There's no such thing as just when it comes to money. And let me tell you why. We're saving up money, those pennies, from 1983 to 1989, I saved $3,000 in just pennies. That's how much people threw it away. But I collect them up. When I went home, my pockets were fat with pennies. In 6 years, I saved $3,000 in pennies, not just putting $1 aside. But then you see, excuse me, this just came to me, like, because I was doing what the gentleman said, paying my tithes, putting $1 aside, I noticed people were throwing the pennies away. That's another opportunity to make money. That's why I said, respect money and you will see opportunities come your way via the universe. And I experienced that. This is why I can talk. Anyway, I saved $1 a day. So imagine how much money I would save $1 a day for 6 years. Well, 7. Well, when I was in college, I got a job working at a bank. I was able to save more than $1 a day. But because I was doing it for 6 years straight, there was nothing for me to put money aside. And guess what else happened with paying my tithes? I could save 10% also. If I pay my tithes, I can save 10%. So guess what I did? Save 10% of my pay. It was a pinch, but it wasn't a struggle. So all it meant was I have to take better care of my clothes, better care of my shoes. Excuse me. Of course, I had my budget for my books. But anyway, because I was able to save 10%, I became an even better steward of what has been entrusted to me. And guess what happened? I was able to get more money. What you think I did? I saved money. Pay my tithes, save my 10%. It is a way of life. Excuse me, so in money matters, gentlemen, you got to be able to kill greed, because greed is going to be undoing when it comes to money. Greed is going to make you a slave, and money is a horrible master. Oh, and another thing I learned, and I will pass on to you, gentlemen. Not all money is good money. I used to hear old man say that, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Money is money. No, I'm telling you that now. I was in the same position you were in. Money is money. Let's get this money. No. Not all money is good money. Everything has to be weighed and saved by A, peace of mind. 2, the time it takes. B, 3, how much is it going to disrupt your lifestyle? How is it going to affect your family? Is it going to affect your health? Is it going to affect other aspects of your life? So sometimes you just have to turn some money down. But money is bad. It's the effect it has on your life. And no amount of money is worth you losing your peace of mind over. don't even talk about your freedom. I'm claustrophobic. I cannot stand being confined. So the idea of me being locked up in a cell, no, 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 I'm good. I'm good. Not all money is good money. And on top of it all, I'm an Aries and I don't like taking orders. So the idea of being in jail and confined, no, son, being told when to go, no. Not all money is good money, gentlemen. Just bear that in mind. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, energy, and effort, and for spending time with me, because it could have been spending it elsewhere. This is the Kingmaker. And gentlemen, I will see you in book 3.